Welcome back to Through a Rosy Window and Into Wellness. I'm Bev, co-founder of Rosy Window Productions, counseling hypnotherapist, and your host for episode 2, Framing a Rosier Window. You have probably heard the term reframing, and nope, this episode is not about windows in your house or how to hang your favorite pictures. The reframing that we will be discussing today can be described as reconceptualizing, rethinking, or taking a closer, honest look at an event, thoughts, emotions, and even memories to get a clearer, honest picture. It is finding the silver lining in every cloud. It is a feeling of disappointment if a picnic is rained out, but being happy that the dry spell is over. And it is a fundamental tool used in psychology. We mustn't look at our world through rose-colored glasses or pretend something is okay when it just isn't. That would be dishonest and detrimental to our well-being. But perhaps shifting our perspective can replace some negatives with positives, encourage empathy where there was anger, and engage feelings of joyfulness instead of despair. It sounds like a tall order, doesn't it? Humans are creatures of habit. Try crossing your legs in the opposite direction, or folding your arms and then reversing which is on top. Our thinking is much the same, very habitual. Like any other habit, it takes some awareness, reflecting, and conscious effort to begin to shift our automatic thought patterns. When we look more closely at reframing, we might want to do some reflecting on our reactions and our interactions to see if we need to shift our habitual thought patterns. Take a picnic that was rained out. You've been planning it for weeks and it was really coming together. You were really looking forward to a wonderful afternoon at the lake. That morning, though, the clouds start rolling in and it begins to rain. You find yourself in an unconsolable, foul mood, and you snap at your spouse for suggesting a picnic on your covered deck. With your angry reaction, you're not going to get any more suggestions from anyone. You're so ticked off, you tell your partner you're going for a nap, and you pout yourself to bed. Why? Be aware of what you're feeling and ask yourself why. You have been planning it for weeks. The picnic basket is packed and ready along with sunscreen, flip-flops, and an umbrella. Is it because you were so focused on this afternoon at the lake on this picnic that it became the only way to escape work or housework, your apartment, maybe even the neighborhood? Did this event trigger the why do these things always happen to me? Or if I was working, the sun would be shining. And perhaps the most important part of this is, will you hang on to these feelings all day so even when the weekend is over, you can continue to dwell on how awful it was and how you didn't feel like you had a rest or any time off at all? This is a perfect scenario to engage reframing. Taking a step back and looking at the situation honestly. Yes, it is disappointing that the weather didn't cooperate, but it isn't just raining on your parade. Nope, going on a picnic is not the only way you can relax, unwind, and escape your daily grind. You're too smart for that. The packed picnic lunch is great for the alternative your spouse suggested. If you're adventurous, maybe a trip to the lake is still in the works. Picnic under the umbrella and some rain gear. Maybe even that good book that you were going to read, some meditation, and a picnic with a movie in the living room. A drive, a trip to the museum, art gallery, or a family visit to someone you haven't seen for a while. In this situation, reframing is looking at the event with some alternatives, honestly looking at your reactions, and in being realistic, engaging an appropriate level of emotion. It is not looking at the situation through rose-colored glasses, but it also is not looking at it through narrow, grinchy blinders either. At the end of the weekend, you could feel rested and relaxed and report that the weekend was great, even with the disappointing weather. Maybe you can even throw in the relief of ending a dry spell and be glad that you didn't have to water the lawn. There are opportunities for reframing all around us, And because our emotions travel more slowly than the thoughts that zip quickly through our conscious and our subconscious, sometimes we need to take a moment and think about why we are feeling a certain way. Once we have nailed down the thought that brought on the emotion, we can have an honest look at it and decide whether the emotion we are feeling is valid and appropriate, or if we have let some automatic negative reaction take over. How about the cashier at the store who is quite abrupt, doesn't smile, and doesn't give any good customer service? Initially, this can be upsetting. Are you taking this treatment personally? As you contemplate this and reflect on what the reasons could be, you can also assess if you played a part in it. Were you distracted or abrupt? Did you smile? Or were you on your phone? Some of these things could have been a contributing factor to her actions toward you. And then the understanding that perhaps it isn't about you at all. Maybe this person has had a really bad morning or is worried about something personal. Maybe they really hate their job and wish to be anywhere but packing your groceries. Why would you take it personally? It is great to get good friendly service, but it doesn't always happen. With reflecting and reframing, you again have the choice. You can mirror that bad behavior, or you can smile, thank the cashier, and continue on a wonderful day. And what will become of that cashier? Their reframing might consist of being grateful for the job, even though it is challenging to get to work early in the morning. Recognizing that she is healthy enough to work, and if it isn't her dream job, she may want to reframe it as a stepping stone job that will lead to something that she would like to do for a living. Having an honest look at the emotions that they are feeling might just bring them to some sincere discussions with their managers, coworkers, spouses, or children to make coming to work easier or to lessen the workload at home. Honest reflection and reframing with yourself can lead to the courage to try new things, alleviate stress and anxiety, and even change a situation that just isn't working. In Amy Morin's book, 13 Things Mentally Strong People Do, she tells a story of a child who was hit by a bus. Months in a wheelchair, healing broken legs. Even though the school was prepared to help him come back to the classroom, his parents kept him home with a focus on what he could no longer do. This outgoing, happy boy became withdrawn and depressed. With the help of a therapist, he began to focus on what he could do and even reconceptualized the tragedy of the bus accident. Not many kids can tangle with a bus and win. He returned to school and continued to heal physically, emotionally, and happily. You can see how there was honesty and reason for each perspective, but reframing to dwell on the positive, what could be done, as opposed to what could not be done, was the driving force behind his mental well-being. We can all learn from this example. We can always compare our abilities and look at what we can't do, but by focusing on the positive aspects of what we are capable of, what we have and what we enjoy will bring a more positive outlook. As we discussed in episode 1, what we focus on will bring more of the same to our attention. We all know those people who are always upbeat and who seem to look at the bright side no matter what, and they seem to do so effortlessly. As a parent and grandparent, that is the gift I would like to give the children in my life. Teaching youngsters how to reframe can be quite easy, asking them simple questions that will shift their perspective in a situation. The team didn't win the game, but did you have fun playing? What was the highlight of the game for you? Wasn't that a great play when Sarah hit that ball? She's really getting to be a good player. Demonstrating reframing a situation or event by honestly talking through the process that you are using is a great way to lead by example, and we will discuss this in greater detail in episode 3. Whenever we recognize an area in our lives that we would like to change, we can feel proud that we have the ability to shift our thoughts and our behaviors. With awareness and effort, there's always hope. Just like going to the gym does not give you a six-pack with just one visit, the art of positive thinking doesn't happen all at once. If you find yourself sliding into old negative thought patterns, that's okay. Interrupt that thought and reframe it into your new positive mode. In no time at all, it will be your go-to habit, and you will be that upbeat, energetic spouse, parent, educator, or grandparent that everyone looks up to. We are here because we have faith in your bright, amazing future. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed this episode on reframing. Now we're just going to move into a nice, short, guided meditation to help you shift to those positive thoughts.
Unless you're listening to this podcast while driving or engaged in an activity that requires your full attention, perhaps you can just lie back, relax, close your eyes, and notice your breathing. You don't have to make it deeper or slower. Just notice your breath. When you notice your breathing, it's just a lovely way to let your mind and your body know of your intention to relax. As you notice your breathing, you can notice a wonderful wave of relaxation beginning at the very top of your head and moving down the back of your head and into your neck and through your shoulders. That wave moves down over your forehead and down through your jaws, down through your shoulders. And as you listen, you notice that your whole body begins to relax down to the very soles of your feet. Now, isn't it wonderful as you practice relaxing, becoming more calm, more peaceful, that you're noticing that each and every day it becomes easier and easier to just take a step back and realize that there is always an alternative way to look at a situation that you're in. How wonderful it is that you're noticing a more positive attitude. How wonderful it is that you're beginning to see things through a more clear lens, noticing that there are always ways to reframe any event, situation, memory. Perhaps you're learning from a situation. Perhaps you can simply see the brighter side of things. And it is so easy for you to take a moment, to take a breath, to let your shoulders relax and settle in deeper and deeper before coming to those conclusions. Your responses and your reactions become more positive each and every day. And you can be so proud that you're setting such a wonderful example for those people around you. And they may even notice that you're a more relaxed, calm, positive person, always finding the bright side, the silver lining in those clouds. And as you take another breath in and out, it's so great. And you can be so very proud of yourself for taking the time to relax, reset, refocus, and reframe. And a breath in and a breath out. And now, as you begin to open your eyes feeling quite refreshed, you just know that you can look forward to the rest of your wonderful day.